There's nothing like a woman that can break you. Nothing like a woman that can take what you have. Well, you know, humans are just chock full of potential. We've got so much potential, right? And oftentimes in our lives, we have great achievements. For me, as I get older, looking back, and as I kind of plateau in a sense, not plateau in potential or plateau in, you know, growth per se, but at least even out, right? If you if you visualize going up some mountains, going through some mountain passes, and then going down the mountains, and then after you go through the mountain passes, you go through a plain or a dry desert. I don't even know if dry, it shouldn't be dry, but just a flatland area, right? Sometimes that's what happens in your life. You're climbing up the mountain, you're seeking achievement, you're learning, you're reading, you're growing, and we have so much potential, right? You're going to college, you're building those muscles, you're flexing those talents and skills, etc. Then you're in the mountains, which signifies, you're in the thick of life. You're going through your career, you're going through those things that are so important because you're at that point in your life, probably mid 20s, early 30s. You're at that point where you've got so much ambition, and I've got to do this, and I gotta, right? You're building your future, right? And everything is contingent on that. But then there's going to come a time when you go down the hill. You're out of the mountains. You're out of that thick area, that mountainous area, and then you come down a hill, and you're in a long flat land. And sometimes that's what happens in life. And for me, that's what happened with me. And what got me out of that mountain and got me down the hill was, bad relationships. And then I hit the MGTOW, long plain, long, treeless, mountainless, plain of MGTOW, where I don't want no issues, I don't want no problems, I don't want no women drama. I'm done with it. I had the sex, I had the intimacy, did the girlfriend thing, did the relationship thing, and I'm cool. Right? I'm cool. But there's nothing like a woman that can chip away at your achievements, chip away at your talents, right? I mean, we have so much potential, particularly between 25 and 30, right? And I believe this is just to a good degree biology, but also, it's hypergamy, it's female nature, and it's male ambition, right? We have the ambition to be something, and we want the woman, and we don't realize that a lot of our ambition and a lot of our drive is really to reproduce biologically. Or a lot of our drive is really to procure a quality woman or procure love or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of that drive, I think, is kind of a basic instinct. Instinctually, we are driving towards success because we know that success means we get to reproduce. We get to have a woman, right? And it gets convoluted, it gets cloudy. It's like, why this, why that, right? Why is our biology like this? Society is so lax and laid back. We can just have relationships. We don't need to have, or we can just have, casual relationships. We don't need to have, long-term love. We don't need all that. All these things come in and kind of trick us, or take up our consideration, etc. Right? And indeed, things are so lax in this society, and we don't necessarily need to have a long-term relationship. But, we have that drive for love or whatever it is. Our souls don't want to be lonely, and we're so convoluted. It all comes to a head, and it all collapses in on us, etc. But for me, I realized Hey man, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get a woman. It's a lot of hypergamy. It's a lot of jumping through hoops. It's a lot of playing their game, right? And how are you gonna find a quality one? Maybe some people are just blessed. Maybe they just work it out somehow. Maybe your idea of love is not necessarily what it should be. Maybe your idea of love is too, too dreamlike. Maybe you need to come down to reality and look in different places, or look for a different type of woman, look for a different personality, right? I don't know, there's many considerations, but for me what happened was, psh, I was at that height of my intelligence, at that height of my potential, and women see that. They see your potential, they see your height, and they're like, what's this guy gonna do? What's he gonna become? Is he gonna become great? This or that, right? And if you fizzle out or you just don't succeed, then they're gone, right? And they take what they can from you, kind of like a succubus, kind of like a leech. They take what they can from you. Maybe not all, maybe some know how to build a man up, but it's it can take who you are. It can take your essence. They can come at a certain time when you're high up, when you're at your peak, you're high up in those mountains. And then as you slowly descend or whatever, you fall off your potential, you don't fulfill your potential, whatever. If you don't reach your potential, then they jump ship. They jump off, and maybe that's a blessing. Maybe that's you dodging a bullet. Maybe that's what it should have been. Like the universe is giving you a gift. You didn't have that succubus. She wasn't there when you fell off, and therefore that exposed her true nature. Anyway, just something to think about. Some random musings. Appreciate you listening. Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.